Hello, one and all. Today, I am discussing here IoT security, which is the most important concern when we are developing IoT devices. Because if we are develop very good IoT device, but if you are not think about the security concern of that IoT device, then all in one win. That's why here we are discussing about how and which type of vulnerabilities in the IoT device and how we can overcome that. So as we know that IoT is not a new concept. It was first considered in Coke vending machine where the internet is connected with the appliances in 1982. So the oldest example was Coke vending machine. Then the word Internet of Things was introduced. So the oldest concept, oldest example, we can consider as a Coke vending machine. So as it is not a new one, but according to the consumer survey, and in that the IoT adoption barrier are users are not ready to access the IoT devices because of these 10 reasons. In the survey, the first and most important reason is data privacy concern. So 40% participants says that the IoT device is not consider the data privacy of the user. If we are think about the device who is collecting the data of the medical record, okay, so there are different kinds of IoT devices who is collecting the medical record. If that record is available to everybody, then obviously the attacker is attacked on that person. So because of the medical reason, he will not die, but because of the privacy hack, maybe the attacker attacked on that and the problem is occurred. Then next is the security concern. Whatever the IoT device, we have to consider that it should provide the security. The security should not be hacked. So security is related to the whatever the data is not modified, it should be available on time, and the data is only for that particular authorized user. The next one, the high cost of implementation. So 38 participants says that the cost of IoT device is very huge because whatever the devices we are using, what connectivity, then the software in this term is known as a firmware, whatever the software we are using, the automatically cost of the component is increased. Not enough knowledge about the available solutions. So there are a number of IoT devices in the market, but which is the better one? So user don't know that which is a better one. Then inadequate infrastructure. So whatever the device, they just example safety door. So for installing the safety door devices, they have to again think about the related infrastructure. So that infrastructure is not adequate. Then the lack of standard. When we are consider the IoT device, so related standards are less. Maximum standard are in progress related to the security. Then interoperability concern and legacy system. So if we are considering the two devices, so interoperability between that device is also a major challenge, as well as when we are thinking about the legacy. So legacy is also major issue related to that. Then uncertainty that IoT will deliver the benefit promise. Obviously, the IoT will deliver the benefit promise is not guaranteed. Okay, so whatever the says, if we order something, so you will get definitely that. So likewise, IoT device will work. Then the current workflow is not well defined. Whatever the workflow related to the IoT device is not fixed one, basically related to the data integrity. Then the technology is not matured one, because whatever the technology we are using, so this is in its newborn state. Various challenges are there and the work is going on related to this IoT, and whatever the connectivity we are doing for the IoT, we will going to study. So IoT is not a simple IoT device. There are a number of components come, and then we can say it is an IoT device. So that adoption barrier was find out according to 2016 Accenture Digital Consumer Survey, where 28,000 consumers from the 28 countries were polled the use of the IoT device and what is their review. And according to that, we come to know that 40% participants says that privacy is concerned and the security is major concern. That's why the different company is now working on not only developing the IoT devices, but also providing the security to that. That's why security has moved from being a nagging problem to top barrier. As a consumer are now choosing abnormal IoT devices and services over the security concern. So when we are considering the IoT device, first we work on that, which type of security we have to provide to the consumer and what are the problems when the manufacturer want to provide that to the consumer. So first we will think about the consumer point of view. So I'm selected here 3 news related to that. So first it says that my safe child tracking smartwatches are easy to hack. So whatever the smartwatches it's provided by the manufacturer, it is easy to hack. So what's about security and safety? So it is obviously not a secured one. Next is the smart home devices used as a weapon in a website attack. So whatever the smart devices, so smart devices attacker are make that as a zombies. So and create a botnet related to that. These concepts are related to the IoT security, botnet, zombies, and all that things. So he just give the instruction to the home devices because he are providing he is doing the attack on that, and according to that attack the devices work according to the instruction of that particular attacker, and now he is giving the request to that particular devices to send n number of requests to the particular website, and due to n number of requests, that is a distributed request coming on the website, single website, that's why the website goes down. It will not work more. So this is known as a distributed denial of service. The service is denial because of this distributed home devices. The next one, that is when fridge attack. Why hackers could target the grid? So it says that if whatever the attack happened on the fridge or related things, so its basic aim is to consume the power, electric supply, and due to that the consumer has to pay more amount because he is just drag out that electric and use for its own benefit, and the consumer who is owner of that has pay more amount for that electricity bill. So this is according to the consumer point of view. But what's about manufacturer point of view? So manufacturer says that this is my new organization and I am new about the cyber security. So where to begin? So this is big challenge, and where to begin, it's okay. But when I start the beginning, there is jungle of guidance. And from that, I'm not getting a common baseline, how I can protect my IoT device from the cyber attacks. So for that, this is the issue related to the manufacturer view. But related to the Indian perspective also we have to think. So when we are saying India and IoT, yes, there is a great opportunity of the development and going on a smart. So related to that, we can say that benefits of the technology advancement. Obviously, the IoT devices, if we are used for our daily uses, so obvious our lifestyle will improve, as well as there is a betterment of the government services. So in government services, if we are using the IoT device, so related to the works. There are a number of works, so it will happen automatically, and there is a progress. Simple, if there is a cleaning of a city, so if it, for that we are using the automated system, smart devices, so obviously the work will improve. Then better living standard, obviously for IoT device, our standard of living is improved, as well as better environment for the segregation of the dry and wet. For that, if we are using the IoT device, the work is easy and environment is also improved. So these are the opportunities, and our India in a market share are at this level. So maximum IoT devices are related to the consumer point of view, then agricultural point of view, then related to smart city, then the healthcare, and there are other IoT devices. So market share related to IoT device graph is like this. So maximum there are consumer oriented IoT device. But there are the security issues and challenges faced by the India, like authenticity, interoperability, privacy, data confidentiality, low range of internet signal, power supply, power backup, fault tolerance, reliability, cost, poor support, and most important, awareness and skill. So I'm taking that from this particular source. So the current IoT problem is like this. The consumer want to it like this, smart way, but they will get the mesh like this. That's why we have to think about security. So before considering this, what is the security and all that related to IoT, we should understand the general knowledge, basic knowledge about IoT. So the first and most important thing is security goals. There are three security goals, that is CIA. Wherever we are saying security word, so that is related to the CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality means your data should not be visible to unauthorized user. Integrity means your data should not be modified by unauthorized user, and availability means 24/7. Wherever the authorized user want to access that data, it should be available. So these are the basic goal of security. When we are designing, developing our IoT device, it should be considering these three basic security goals. And when we are saying that these are the goals, so that goals should be reflect to your software. It is known as a firmware, hardware, as well as communication channel. So whatever the software you are developing, it should be confidential, integrity not be breakable, and it should be available for 24/7 hours. Related to hardware, yes, the same thing, as well as the communication channel. When we are providing the security to these three things, there are the related entities, that is product. So for your product, means your IoT device, we have to provide the physical security along with this, and that product is connected to the communication device. It is a hardware and it is consists of software also, as well as the procedure. So we are saying certain things, so all is not possible to uh, work on that. So for that, there should be procedure. Yes, we are designing the device like that. The user is using that like that way. So there should be some certain procedure, that is organizational security also we have to consider related to that, as well as the people who is developing the a particular IoT device and who is using that. So proper training, proper knowledge is required, so that your CIA should not be affected due to that. Means if your people, if your user is put IoT device somewhere else, so obviously there is all the three things may be collapse. Related to that, there are certain more terms, that is security, privacy, authentication. So security, we have already discuss here. Privacy means your data should be protected. Your identity of that is also protected. Authentication, you are using password, user IDs. So that user IDs and password we are basically used for authentication purpose. Then authorization, we are providing the authorization to the authentic person so that he can only read or write whatever the authorities we can provide to that person. In Google Drive, we are saying the view mode or edit mode. Means view mode means only used for the reading purpose. Edit mode means can be modified. So likewise, authority we can provide. Then the most important concept, that is a key and encryption. So for confidentiality, we can say your data should not be visible to any unauthorized person. So for that, we have to hide that data. The hiding of the data is possible with the help of keys. In the olden era, there is, if you they have to hide, so they have to hide everything. But nowadays, if there is a handshake in a communication, so they should be saying that yes, I am using RSA algorithm or SH algorithm or DES algorithm. So that algorithm is known to everybody. If there is an attacker in that communication, so he also know about which algorithm they are using. So here secrecy is related to the key. Key should be secured one so that no one can see that whatever the data we can encrypt. So key generation and encryption. I'm putting here word encryption. Encryption means we are hiding the data with the help of key. We are locking that data with the key so that no one can see that data. And the decryption, opposite to that encryption, means whatever the hide data you using key, you just open that, means authorized person, receiver can open that and check that data. So I already told you that it's key generation. Whatever the key are generated, it should be provided to the user in secured way, and that is known as a key management. PKI, public key infrastructure. Through that, the keys are securely provided to the authorized users. And the next term, that is cryptographic algorithms, when we are saying the encryption, decryption, hiding, integrity. So for that, we are using certain cryptographic algorithm, that is symmetric key cryptography, means only one key is using. The asymmetric key cryptography means two keys are used. One is known to everybody and other is only to that particular person. Okay, that is known as a private key and public key. Then hashing. For the achieving the integrity, we are using the hashing algorithm. Whatever the data related to that, we have to create the hash. If the hash is matched with that particular data hash, okay, we are sending actual message and the hash value. If both are matched, then we can say that the integrity is achieved. No one is modifying that particular data. And the digital signature means for the authentication purpose, we are using the digital signature. Yes. And due to that, non-repetition is also achieved, means no one can deny that this data is not sent by me. So all that things is achieved with the help of the different cryptographic method. So here we have to consider which are the security problems. I have already told you IoT is not a single technology. It is combination of all the technology, from the network to up to the recent cloud and blockchain also. So the network related issue, that is services, encryption, firewall issues, so that also come in IoT security problem. These are not still not resolved. Encryption, we are not getting any standard encryption algorithm. ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते हैं कि this algorithm is not breakable by anybody. There are the things and the work is still going on related to the application, authentication, authorization, and input validation. Related to the mobile insecure APIs, lack of encryption, because mobile have limited storage. And in that, if we are using the big encryption algorithm, so it is not possible. So lightweighted algorithm we have to use, and this is a again major challenge. Then in a cloud, there is a problem, that is a authentication session access. So whatever the data is stored on that cloud, So we have to create a sessions, and the session generation and access to that session is again big challenge. So all these issues are present in IoT device because we are using all these things in an IoT device. That's why network related problem, application related problem, mobile related problem, cloud related problems are part of our IoT security. So IoT security means new opportunities, a security professional to develop a novel security solution. That's why whatever we have, endpoint security, security gateway, mobile security, cloud, SNS, DNS, and now the platform is IoT device, and security technology should be enhanced according to that. That's why we are saying that there is a need of a novel security solutions. So the security architecture for the IoT. So we have already studied the 3 layers of IoTs, that is perception, transportation, and application layers. So related to that, how the security is related to that particular layer. So when we are saying perception, perception is nothing but a physical layer where we are using the IoT devices. So perception node, in that we are using the IoT device, and the perception networks means that IoT device are connected to each other. That is a data link layer. So related to that, if we are using RFID, then RFID related security. If we are using WSN, that is wireless sensor network, so related to the sensor security is important. So if we are saying RFID, then protocol security, base station security, reader security, tag counterfeit security, tag and code security are major issues. Related to the wireless sensor network or wireless sensor nodes, the routing protocol security, cryptographic algorithm, key management, node trust management are important. If we are make the combination of different types of IoT device, so here example is the RFID and WSN. So the combination we have to consider, as well as names, GPS technologies, security is also important. Then the next layer, that is transportation. So if we are saying the access network, so related to that ad hoc security, GPRS security, Wi-Fi security. So when we are using the Wi-Fi, so for that we are using WEP, that is a wireless equipment protocol, which is providing the security to our Wi-Fi, and we are giving the password, and through that we can access the Wi-Fi. So we are in this way, we are providing the authentication for that particular Wi-Fi device. So likewise, we have to think how we can enhance that. This is our major goal. Then core network, that is internet. It is a core network. So in that there is 3Gs, LTE and all that things that we have to consider. Then local network, if we are using local network for connecting the IoT device, so local network related security we have to consider. Next layer, that is application. Before going on application, there is application support layer. So if we are using the technology, that is middleware technology, so we have to think about the middleware technology security. Service support platform, so service platform security, like if we are using cloud infrastructure development or other support systems, so according to that we have to consider that security. Then the last level, that is the IoT application. So if we are using different kind of IoT application, so according to that application we have to consider the security, because application to application the security requirement is different. If we are using the remote medical services, so here the data security is important. When we are saying the smart grid, so connectivity is very important. So likewise, according to the security, we have to think about the according to the application, we have to think about the security. So according to the OWASP, top 10 security issues, which was mentioned in 2014. According to that, these are the 10 major security IoT security surface area. First says that insecure web interface. So whatever the web interface we are using, your IoT device is connected to the web interface. So in between that, whatever the connection we have established, it should be secured one. And how we can do that? This is a challenge. Then authentication and authorization. Now the work is going on, so we can't say that it is not developed nowadays, but in the 14th survey, this is not there. So maximum things are solved, but still the new challenges occur because attackers are thinking in new way and they are finding the new security issues, and according to that, the developer has to fix that new challenges using the new security mechanisms. So they have to again find out the new security mechanisms. So if insufficient authentication and authorization, because the devices are tiny and providing the authentication is very tedious task. Then insecure network services, then transport encryption, privacy concern, cloud, mobile interfacing is a problem. Then security configuration is a problem, as well as insecure software and firmware, whatever the firmware we are using. If there is a problem in that firmware, then there is again challenge. Then initially whatever our TCP is, it is not a secure proof. So for that we are the researchers are finding out how they can provide the security to that TCP layers. So according to that, previously that is not secured one. So according to that, they are finding out TLS, SSL, IPsec likewise, and they are protect the secure layers of that TCPs and make that as a secured one. So likewise here also in IoT device also the work is going on. And there is again major problem, that is physical security. If in a agricultural plant, we want to install IoT device for temperature, moisture sensor, but if the attacker is physically stolen that, then that is a big and major issue. So the OWASP top 10 Internet of Things is mentioned the similar type of IoT top 10 security issues. The first one is a weak and guessable hard-coded password. Next one is again the network services are insecure. Again, whatever in 2014. So that same problem is nowadays also, but there is some solutions are come, but still the problem is there. Then ecosystem. Previously, they are not mentioned about the ecosystem, but now insecure ecosystem interface is again major issue because the lacking and weak encryption and input output filtration problem, backend APIs and all that things. Because of that, their ecosystem is affected. Then lack of secure update mechanism. Obviously in that tiny device, how and when you have to update that thing, because that is placed in a remote location, then updation mechanism is also a big challenge. The use of insecure and outdated component, so this is also a big challenge. Then the privacy protection, data transfer and storage, device management, default setting, and as per 14 there is again physical hardening. So the issues are mentioned in different news. So security cases I have mentioned here. That is in 15 there is crystal recall where the car is hacked, smart card is hacked. Then the home and the commercial routers are hacked by the zombies. So refrigerator hacked. So likewise, examples are mentioned here. So basically, I am here focusing two important security issue cases, that is Mirai attack. So in 2016, multiple distributed denial of service, that is DDoS attack on by the domain name system provider, that is DAN, which caused the inaccessibility of several websites. The websites names are, that is GitHub, Twitter. So this is the big named branded websites. are inaccessible because of the DDoS attack. And who make that attack? So the attacker is considered, he give the instruction, he hacked the devices like printer, IP camera, gateways, PMB monitor, and make a botnet of that, make a network of that is known as a botnet. And that different devices, large IoT devices, are under control of the attackers. According to the attacker instruction, he just send n number of requests to that particular website, and due to that n number of website, the service is denied. That is denial of service attack is happened, and this is known as a Mirai attack. The next one, Stunnet attack. So it is a malicious computer worm which target the industrial computer system, and that result into the substantial damage to the Iran's nuclear program. So this is also very big IoT news. So for when we are considered these are the attacks, these are the vulnerabilities, then how we can prevent that? How the IoT device we can say it is a protected one? So for that, there is certain standard, and still there are a number of standards which are under implementation. So the standards that are already exist and work properly to provide the security to the IoT devices. The first, that is ISO IEC 1443443. That standard purpose is the contactless proximity card. This is provide the security to the contactless proximity card, and for that they are using the AES algorithm, that is symmetric key algorithm, which is used to whatever the information, it is encrypted and provide the security to that particular data according to this standard. The next one, that is IEC 62591. This is also known as a wireless HART. So basic purpose is for the industrial wireless sensor network, and it is using the mechanism that is encryption, authentication, and key management. The next one, GS1 keys, Ucode, and likewise there are some of the standard which are well implemented, also there are IEEE standard, NIST standard also. There are certain standards that are in progress, but in future they will definitely provide the good security to our IoT devices. That is 6LoWPAN, which is based on the IoT IP connectivity. Then role, core, and COAP. So if we are apply that, it is good provide the security to our IoT device. This is under development. This is proposed in RSA conference 2020 TS 103645. So whatever our top 10 issues we have just discussed, so to resolve that, this particular standard is considering all that thing, that is no universal default password, means your weak password and that issue is solved here. Implement a mean to manage report of the vulnerability, keep software updation is also problem. So all these things are may be covered with this particular standard. This is in progress. So if we think about developing your B project, ME project, or any research work, so that time when you want to develop a secure IoT device, so you have to consider certain features, which are the different traits related to that, and what are the challenges in that. And these are certain opportunities. So as a research point of view, you have to think that how you can protect your IoT device in particular related to the particular feature. So nowadays this homomorphic encryption is in a boom. So if we want to secure the IoT data, the homomorphic encryption and work is going on this homomorphic encryption. So if you have to dig more into this particular thing, you can go through this source. So you can develop your secure IoT applications when you have gone through these particular opportunities. You can select any one of that and work according to that. So our security problems, there are 10 security problems. So I'm here giving the top 10 IoT security solutions to that problem. So first one is we have to develop the secure IoT network, whatever the network we are using for IoT device. So because actual whatever the network we are using communication purpose, so it is little bit different from that, because we are using on a tiny device and communication between that is complex one. So for that we have to think about how we can provide secure IoT network. Authentication of the IoT device, these are the large number of IoT devices, and to provide the authentication to each and every device. Otherwise, the devices are work as a zombies and they are part of a botnet and attack on any server. So because to avoid that, authentication of a device is must. Otherwise, anyone can attack on that and then use that particular device. As well as your private data also hacked due to that, as well as use the data encryption standard. So whatever the encryption standard, if we are saying the RS algorithm, so nowadays we can't use the small key. We want to use the 2048 key size. And that is very huge. For the IoT device, it is not suitable. So we have to think how we can reduce the key size, how we can manage the keys in the IoT scenario. So we can think we have to use the lightweighted algorithms and key structure for the IoT devices. Then use of PKI security methods, management related to the keys. Then use of IoT security analytics. So how we can use the security analytics for that? There are the different data analytics methods also. So use of IoT API security method. So we have to think if we are using the IoT, so how we can provide the security to that APIs, then test the IoT hardware so that it should not be hacked, then develop the secured IoT apps. So developing, writing the code, testing of that is again big challenge. Then avoid launching IoT device in a rush, because if you have to just gather the things and launch that, so obviously there are the loopholes, there are the vulnerabilities, and attacker can gain that and attack on your system. Like, as well as be aware of the latest IoT security threats and breaches, because there are a number of attackers with a different mind, with a different skill set, and they always, because now there are a number of issues because of this COVID, and everybody want to gain the money, and they are finding out the easiest way of that. So there is increase in attacks, their mind is sharp, they are finding out the new ways to that. So how we can avoid that? So we should know about what are the recent threats and breaches. If you know that threats means vulnerabilities, then only you can avoid that. Thank you.